After 23 years of marriage, my wife admitted she'd been cheating on me for 2 years and left me for a younger man. A week later, she called me crying. I'm 50 years old, and I never imagined that at this stage of my life I would be telling this story, trying to understand whether I'm being cruel or whether I'm finally standing up for myself for the first time in decades. I was married to my wife, Emma, for 23 years, more than half my life. We met young, built a family together, survived hard times, raised 3 children, and I genuinely believe that whatever problems we had, we would face them together. We have 3 kids. Our oldest daughter, Rachel, is 22. Our son, Jake, is 19. And our youngest, Ava, is about to turn 18 in a couple of months. For most of my life, my identity revolved around being a husband and a father. I worked, I provided, I tried to be emotionally present, even when I wasn't perfect. I thought that was what marriage was supposed to be. Choosing each other every day, even when it's hard. About a week ago, Emma asked me to sit down and talk. I didn't think much of it at first. I assumed it was going to be about the kids, or money, or something normal. Instead, she calmly told me that she had been having an affair with a coworker. Not for a few weeks, not for a few months, for 2 years. 2 entire years of lies, secrets, and betrayal. The man's name is Matt. He's 27 years old. She said she was finally telling me because she was ready to move forward with him and felt I deserved the truth. According to her, this was the perfect time. Our kids were grown. Ava would turn 18 soon. She believed there was nothing holding her back anymore. When she said those words, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath my feet. I completely broke down. I cried in a way I don't think I ever have before. I begged her. I asked her to reconsider. I told her we could go to counseling, start over, do anything. I know how pathetic that sounds, but in that moment, my entire life was collapsing in front of me. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was desperate, terrified, and heartbroken. The kids weren't home, which I'm sure wasn't a coincidence. Rachel had already moved out. Jake was away at college. Ava was at a friend's house. It was just the 2 of us. I cried for what felt like forever while she sat there patting my hand, saying things like, "You'll be okay, and you'll find someone else." She spoke to me like I was a wounded animal, not a husband she had betrayed after 23 years of marriage. At some point, something inside me snapped. I don't know exactly when, but I stood up, wiped my face, and told her to leave. I said I didn't want her in the house anymore, that I couldn't look at her. She looked genuinely surprised, like she expected me to keep begging. To be honest, I surprised myself too. But I meant it. She didn't argue. She silently grabbed a suitcase that was already packed. That was the moment I realized she had planned all of this in advance. She knew how it would go. She had prepared for it. She hugged me awkwardly on her way out. I didn't hug her back. I just stood there, numb, watching my marriage walk out the door. After she left, I completely fell apart. I cried for hours. I don't even remember how much time passed. When Ava came home later that day, she found me asleep on the couch. She immediately knew something was wrong. My eyes were red and swollen. She kept asking where her mom was and what happened. I tried to hold it together, but the moment I started explaining, I broke down again. Telling my daughter that her mother had been cheating on me for 2 years was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Ava hugged me and cried with me. Her reaction was pure shock. Unlike me, though, she didn't freeze. She took action. She called her brother and sister and asked them to come home as soon as possible. She also called my brother, Eric. Eric is 45 and single by choice. He's always been dependable, and I've always known I could count on him. He drove several hours to get to us that same day. He understood that I was in no condition to be alone, so he stayed. A week has passed, and he's still here. The kids are all here too. We're trying to process what happened together, but honestly, it still feels like a nightmare I haven't woken up from. I didn't realize how deeply this would affect my mental health. I struggled to get out of bed. I feel empty, angry, sad, and confused all at once. The only reason I function at all is because of my kids. They've been incredibly supportive, and I feel an overwhelming responsibility to stay strong for them, even when I don't feel strong at all. I spoke to a lawyer and started preparing for divorce. I didn't file immediately. I assumed Emma would. She was the one who wanted to leave, after all. But days passed, and she didn't do anything. I didn't understand why until she called me late one night. When I answered, I could hear immediately that she had been crying. She asked how the kids were. I answered coldly. I didn't want her to know that I still cared, even though I did. Then she completely broke down and told me the truth. Matt had refused to let her move in with him. He told her he wasn't ready for a serious relationship, that he was young and wanted to have fun. And even if he were ready, he didn't see a future with a 50-year-old woman with 3 kids. He said he wanted a family someday. Children. A long life with someone who could give him that. And according to him, she couldn't. She had thrown away her marriage for a man who never planned to choose her. She told me she had nowhere to go, that the kids weren't speaking to her, that they had blocked her everywhere. She had been living in a hotel for a week, terrified to call me. That night, she finally asked if she could come home, if I could give her a second chance. Something inside me hardened instantly. All the sadness and pity disappeared and turned into pure anger. I told her no. I told her she didn't give me a second chance, so she wasn't getting one either. I told her that I was glad things turned out this way for her, because she deserved it. Then I hung up and turned off my phone. For years, I was the one who fixed everything. I apologized even when I wasn't wrong. I chased her. I smoothed things over. I carried the emotional weight of the relationship. But I'm done. I can't forgive this. I don't want to forgive it. This was the wake-up call I needed. She tried to twist the narrative afterward, calling me selfish and cruel, accusing me of turning the kids against her. None of that is true. I didn't tell them to block her. I didn't manipulate anyone. Her actions did this. And now that her affair failed, she wants me to clean up the mess again. I truly believe I'm doing the right thing. But part of me still doubts myself. I still love her, and I hate that about myself. That's why I'm telling this story. I need to know if I'm wrong, or if walking away is the only way to save what's left of me. She didn't stop after that call. The next morning, when I finally turned my phone back on, I saw a flood of messages from her. Some were apologies. Others were angry. Some were manipulative, trying to make me feel guilty. She said I was heartless, that I was abandoning her when she needed me most, that after everything she had done for our family, I was throwing her away like trash. What shocked me the most was how quickly she rewrote history. In her version of events, she wasn't the woman who cheated on her husband for 2 years. She was the victim, the woman who made a mistake because her life felt boring. She even said I was partly responsible for the affair because I had changed over the years, because I was older, because I wasn't exciting enough anymore. Reading those messages made something very clear to me. She still didn't understand what she had done. She didn't feel true remorse. She felt regret, not because she hurt me, but because her plan failed. A few days later, I officially filed for divorce. As soon as the papers were served, her tone changed again. This time, the messages became cruel. She said I was ruining her life, that the divorce was my revenge, that I was punishing her for wanting to feel alive again. She mocked my age, my appearance, even my emotional breakdown, calling me weak and pathetic. I won't lie, those words hurt. I'm almost 50. I don't look like I did at 25. My hair is thinning. I don't go to the gym like I used to. But none of that excuses betrayal. Marriage isn't about staying young forever. It's about loyalty. It's about choosing each other when things aren't exciting anymore. For the first time, I started looking back at our marriage with clearer eyes. All the red flags I ignored. All the times I apologized just to keep the peace. All the moments when my needs were dismissed. I loved her more than she loved me. And I convinced myself that was normal. That's what love was supposed to be. Now I realize how wrong I was. Meanwhile, the kids refused to speak to her. I never asked them to cut contact. They made that decision on their own. They saw what she did. They saw how deeply it destroyed me. And they couldn't forgive her, at least not yet. Watching them rally around me was heartbreaking and comforting at the same time. I hated that they were hurting, but I was grateful I wasn't alone. Then came the irony. My oldest daughter, Rachel, told me something that almost felt unreal. Emma had gone online and posted a long public rant about Matt. She accused him of using her, leading her on, and throwing her away. She painted herself as a woman who sacrificed everything for love and was betrayed. The comments told a different story. Several women from her workplace replied, saying they had also been involved with him. Apparently, he had been sleeping with multiple coworkers for years. He wasn't some great love. He was an office flirt who never committed to anyone. Emma wasn't special to him. She was just another option. I never believed much in karma before, but watching this unfold felt like exactly that. She destroyed her family for a fantasy that was never real. And now the entire office knew. Her friends knew. Our extended family was starting to find out. The image she tried so hard to maintain completely collapsed. At some point, I blocked her everywhere. I couldn't heal while she kept trying to pull me back into the chaos. The silence was uncomfortable at first, but then it became peaceful. Weeks passed. The divorce process moved forward. We began discussing asset division. Because of her public admission of infidelity, things were leaning in my favor. I won't pretend that felt good, but it felt fair. For once, I wasn't the one paying the price for someone else's choices. Emotionally, I started to stabilize. The pain didn't disappear, but it softened. I stopped waking up with a crushing weight on my chest. I started eating again, sleeping better. I even caught myself laughing with my kids one night, and for a moment, everything felt normal. I still think about her sometimes. That part hurts the most. After everything, a part of me still loves her. Or maybe I love the version of her I thought existed, the woman I built a life with. Letting go of that illusion is harder than letting go of her. I've decided to start therapy. I need help unpacking why I tolerated so much for so long. Why I believed love meant self-sacrifice to the point of self-erasure. I want to heal properly, not just survive this. Today, when I look at my future, it's uncertain. But for the first time in a long time, it feels honest. I didn't destroy my marriage. I didn't betray my family. I didn't walk away for something shallow and temporary. I stood my ground when it mattered. And if she truly loved me, she wouldn't have needed to lose everything to realize my worth. So no, I don't believe I was too harsh. I believe I finally chose myself. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. And tell me honestly, did I do the right thing?